Hello and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be looking to control a Yamaha CP from a Yamaha DGX 670 using a MIDI lead, not using a computer. So I've got this little box here. It's a DORE Midi USB MIDI host, and we can use MIDI in and MIDI out on there and connect it up to the DGX 670 with a USB cable, and that will give us MIDI in and MIDI out from the DGX 670, which it doesn't have as standard. So let's get that connected up, and yeah, we'll get it working. We need a MIDI cable, 5-pin MIDI cable on the DORE Midi, and MIDI in using this cable to the Yamaha Reface. Then we're going to need a USB host cable to connect from the DGX to the MIDI module, and this goes into the USB host in. So that's two cables. Then we need some power, so we will use another USB cable to plug into the DORE Midi and into the DGX, and that's just for power. We've got our MIDI cable into the DORE Midi. We've got a USB cable from the host into the DGX 670, and we've got power in straight from the USB on the DGX 670. So that's all ready to go. So let's power them up. And see how that works. We've set up the leads, all the hardware is basically plugged in, and the output from the CP is connected to the auxiliary in on the Yamaha. We should be able to just play the keyboard and the CP will pick up the MIDI and play. Now that's not the case. Yamaha, in their wisdom, have decided to put the MIDI to off. So we need to do some menu surfing now. So we'll press the menu button, and we don't see anything to do with MIDI here. So we'll use the tab button at the top here to change between menu 1 and menu 2, and we see MIDI's up there on menu 2. Now the tab buttons just do the top bit there. We need to use these cursor buttons here. So we'll go across to MIDI and then press enter. And we notice, surprise, surprise, MIDI is turned off. So we can go to all parts instead of MIDI. Now these are the presets, these are Yamaha's presets. In their wisdom, they've decided to put on all parts. So now if I turn off the main, then also the MIDI comes off as well. So we need to do some editing in here. So if we need to switch over to these buttons which control what happens on here. So if we do edit, that lower one there, we can see that we've got local control, song, style, left, main, layer, they're all on, transmit, clock off. So this isn't really the bit that we're interested in. We want to have a look at the transmit bit, and what we want to do, and again we don't use these, we use the tab to change to transmit. Now there's a good chunk of settings in here. So there's main. Well, we want to turn, I want to turn main off because I want the CP bit to be on the layer selector. So I'm going to turn these off, and that's note off, CC, PC and PB off. We then use this button, cursor button, to come down to the next one. We're on channel 2. I want the note, but I don't want the CC and the program change or anything like that. I just want to be able to play the CP from these keys. So let's then move down, and you just have to disable. This is just for MIDI, not for the actual things themselves. Or we can actually turn off. Well, we don't want to turn them off, we just want to stop them transmitting. So we need to turn all these off, and there's quite a few of them. If we use the little buttons here, the navigate buttons, you can see there's quite a few of these things that we can affect with the on and off here. So it's quite comprehensive, but it's not very intuitive. So let's tab back to system, enter. I did find save there somewhere, but here it is, and it's obviously grayed out. So what I've done is I've set up, and here you've got preset and user. I've already set up these layers, and I'll just page through those so you can see what settings I've got. And I've just called it CP, so I can press enter and edit on here, and then I can see what's happening in here. So this is the first page, the system page. So this is how I've got everything set up there, but you'll notice that layer is off. Okay, so I don't want to hear, when I engage the layer, I don't want to hear the internal sounds from the Yamaha. I just want to hear the MIDI going out to the CP. So if we move over to the next, just tab along to the next one, and we can see here, let's just go back up to the top using these keys to navigate, that I've just got the note on channel 2 for the layer. So when I press the layer button, it should just be the CP and the CP only. And the reason I've not enabled the other ones will become apparent in a minute when I put a style on. So this is all of the possible channels for the songs, styles, etc. are all disabled. So really, once I hit the layer button, I can just control the CP. And now if we, because I've got main, that's the piano, I'll just press the main button, and now I'm going to press the layer button, and we can just hear the electric piano. Now, I'm hitting this quite hard, but I'm not getting that bark that you normally get with a decent electric piano sample. So there's something else we need to change. We've finished in here. This is all set up okay. So we can exit this. We need to use the tab buttons to adjust back to menu 1. Sorry, but this is all a bit great stuff. Great job, Yamaha. And we need to have a look at the controller settings. So let's go down to controller and see where the velocity is set. So we go down to controller, enter, And we have a look in here, and there's nothing at all about how hard we hit the keys and how loud it is. So that's under settings on the next one along. So we use the tab button to go to settings, and here we are. This is the touch, as they've called it, and normally that would set a velocity curve, but in the case of MIDI, Yamaha in their wisdom have decided to just cut off the upper, instead of 0 to 127, or 1 to 127, we've got, it seems to be cutting it off, so it just cuts it off at say 80, so you're not actually getting the full dynamic of the Yamaha CP. So let's scroll down to soft 2, which I found is the only one that, using the Yamaha keyboard, allows me to get that bark, that bite. So it's exactly the same. So we actually get a bit of bite on there, which is the full range there. So if you're going to use this as a MIDI controller keyboard, you need to put it onto soft 2 to give you the full velocity range up to 127, rather than having Yamaha chop it down for some bizarre reason, rather than using a velocity curve. So with that said, I'm going to fire up a style and just have a little noodle so you can get an idea of how it all sounds once these changes have been made. So I'm going to have to change the cameras around a little bit, and then we'll be straight back. So this is all done. I can exit that, and we're back here. And there we are, it's doing what we want it to do. And there we go, I suppose who's it's going to get. So there it is. Well, I hope you gained something from that. It took me a while to work out how it all worked and why it was doing what it was doing. So if it's helped a bit, give me a sub or a like or a comment. Even if you didn't like it, give me a dislike or drop a nasty comment, because they're quite amusing. So I hope that's helped people out. Have a good one. Cheers. let's try that again. Where's that gone? Where are you going? Oh, you're falling over. Oh, I see.